Alright, just checking to see if you guys can hear me. Oh, yeah, even Abraham in here. Um, can you guys just type in the chat if you guys can hear it? I just want to make sure everything's working. Audio is on. Alright. So, let's go ahead and get into the review. Try and keep this to about 15 to 20 minutes. This might look familiar for those who are in class right now. This is basically a model of the study guide, so if you didn't finish it in class, you can get the answers here. So, anyways, so let's go ahead and start going over. First one we're going to talk about is citizenship. Say Prince is weird. Why do you want me to announce that you're weird, Prince? Let's focus. Anyways, so we're going to talk about citizenship, okay? So first off is the definition of what is a citizen. So it's a person with certain rights and duties under a government who, by birth or through naturalization, owes allegiance to that government. So what is that? You know, then we got to figure out how we get to there. So the one amendment that defines citizenship is the 14th Amendment. So basically, if you ever see the word citizenship and you're looking for, and it's asking about an amendment, you're 14. I mean, that's your automatic go-to. For this upcoming test, there's only two numbers you should know, which is the 1st and the 14th. So if you guess any other number, you really haven't been paying attention at all. Make sure you guys are paying attention. I see you guys having some fun in the chat, but just make sure you can ask questions if you don't understand something. So with the 14th Amendment, we had just had the Civil War. 13th Amendment says no slavery, so now there's no slaves, but what do we do with this brand new population? And basically we wanted to make sure that nobody was going to try any funny business by not giving them the rights. So everybody was made a citizen. Not everybody, because everybody's made a citizen, but not given all equal rights, I should say. But at least everybody was made into a citizen. So that was the moment where we defined what is citizenship. And that is that all persons born or naturalized in the United States are subject to jurisdiction thereof, are citizens of the United States in the state where they reside. So as you can see, it's right there. Do I need to zoom in more and make it a little bit more clear for you guys? Kylie, I saw your post. I'm just trying to go through the review. I will catch up with you guys at the end. So I wasn't trying to ignore you. Alright, that's a little bit more readable there. I'll go a little bit more in. So basically this is already telling you the two ways of how you become a citizen. You have birth, meaning you were born in the United States, or the naturalization process, or naturalized. And again, here it is just in bullet point form if you needed it. The 14th Amendment, the only way it could be changed is through another amendment. So, like for instance, I don't want to start getting into it too much because I don't want to confuse you, but the 18th Amendment prohibited alcohol, and the 21st repealed it. So if they wanted to change the 14th Amendment, they would have to make another amendment that changed it. So pretty much always going to be a test question. Immigration, naturalization, particularly in the 20th century, has led to an increasingly diverse society. Diverse meaning different. It might be reversed. It might say we have a very diverse society because of immigration, naturalization. But basically, we went from being mainly European white country to now we are the melting pot. So we have races and different faiths, all this stuff, all coming into one, a very different society. Everybody is different, very diverse. Yes, the test is tomorrow, Larson. Oh, somebody stole my name. And there. So, what do you have to be able to do to become a citizen? Well, you gotta be 18. You gotta be a legal resident. We'll get into the steps here in a second. You have good moral character, be loyal, all those things. So, the first step is you sign up. Remember, you sign up saying, hey, I want to become an American citizen. Okay. Hold on one Um, anyways, so you have to be able to sign up, and then you either have to be here. Basically, you have to be living here. Remember, it says resident, so you're living here. That doesn't mean you're a citizen yet, but you have to live here as you're basically going to be an alien at that point. Now, again, alien does not mean you're illegal or doing anything wrong, even though the media likes to say that stuff. It means that hold on, I'm fixing stuff really quick, guys. So it means that they are living here and they're basically becoming accustomed to United States and what it's like and its culture and all that stuff. Um, so they have to be here for 5 years. However, if they marry an American citizen while they're waiting for those 5 years up, that's when it gets cut down to 3. So that's why over here you see the difference between 3 and 5. Um, and then we have, after that, that's when you have your big test. You get interviewed. They're basically going to, see, are you holding down a job? Are you getting accustomed to American customs? And are you fitting into, society and all that stuff? And then you have to take the test, where we did that little practice test like you guys would have to do for them. And then we take what's called the Oath of Allegiance, where they basically at the very end you've done the hard part, and now you're just you raise your right hand and do a ceremony, and essentially now you're a citizen. You're officially a citizen. So the steps again are sign up. You have to be here for 3 to 5 years. Again, 3 if you marry an American citizen. Otherwise, it's 5. You have to take the test. You have to demonstrate that you are able to read, write, and speak English, and you have to demonstrate knowledge of American history and government. They updated this one a little bit, but it is still there. That's what's on the test. You have to demonstrate knowledge of American history and government. That's pretty much it for citizenship. I think you guys are going to do pretty well on that one. Not super worried. So, now we move on to the First Amendment. So the First Amendment is in the Constitution, and I haven't gone over this a lot because when we get to documents, you're going to hear this a ton and over and over and over. And the Constitution is the supreme law document. Nothing is bigger than the Constitution. So what it says goes. And the very first thing they put in there was the First Amendment, because some of our founders felt like, while we're making this big old government, what about our personal rights, our freedoms? They weren't being protected. So the compromise was, let's add these Bill of Rights, first 10 amendments. Right now, for this purpose, we're focusing on the first. And there's 5 freedoms that go with the First Amendment. Religion's pretty much an easy one. Usually you guys get pretty well. It's anything that's talking about religion. There should be always a separation between church and state. And what that means is that government should do government, religion should do religion. They should never mix. That's why, like, the United States government doesn't say, all right, everybody's going to be Buddhist today. Because we have that separation of church and state. There is no state religion. And then we have speech. That's what allows you to express yourself. So from anything like you being able to say what you like or you hate something, to wearing a shirt that says, like, unicorns are real or something like that, as innocuous as that is or as weird as that sounds, it allows you to say those things because you have that freedom of speech. The only time your speech gets inhibited is when you call or your speech might be a danger to someone else. If you threaten someone, or you're inciting some type of violence. Remember we did that example where if you yell fire in a movie theater, now you're causing all these other people to be in danger because you're causing a panic. Press. Think of press as another way for saying media or the news. So we have things like newspapers, what you see on TV, on the internet. All that is covered by freedom of the press. And essentially what that's saying is that you have a right to criticize the government. The government's not perfect. Nobody is. And freedom of the press allows the media to point out the good, the bad, whatever. The idea being is that they're almost like a fourth check, is that they can point out to the people, here's what's going on, and basically documenting it and making sure people are aware of what's going on in the world. For instance, if there was an earthquake in California, none of us would know without the media. Now we have social media today, but we still have reporters who use the social media to get the information out there. Because if you just depend on what everybody's saying, then you get into the problems of hearsay. Can you really trust what everybody's saying? Do you know if they're getting their sources and if it's factual? The news is supposed to be unbiased and factual information. Now, there is some complaints, and you guys brought up good points in class where you were making the points that it's biased or that you feel like it's they're trying to give a slanted view. They're trying to make you think a certain thing with the news, or they're just not reporting the facts. And that's an argument you can make. I mean, you're allowed to criticize the press. That's your freedom of speech that you're using because you're not happy with the level of the freedom of the press. So we're going to take a look at that later on this quarter. Probably near the end of the quarter where we talk about media. We'll look at propaganda and all those things. Assembly. Basically, these are the key phrases right here. Peacefully gather. So you want to look at this as basically you're allowed to peacefully gather. That's why you can get together and do those parades, those marches, those protests. Right here, this picture is a perfect example of freedom of assembly. You have all these people. They're marching for what they believe in. They're marching against the Iraq War. And it's a giant group. And what allows them to do this is the fact that we have freedom of assembly. And some places in the world, this would be met with tear gas. This would be met with rubber bullets or even real bullets, basically saying, I don't think you guys are going to want to do this. And then lastly, we have petitions where you have your right to make known. So a lot of you guys are familiar with a petition where like you get a piece of paper and you ask for signatures. And then the people can write their name on it, and you want to get something changed. That is petition. You can do that with the government, though. This is the one where you can officially protest, like official, not just shout out like, "Hey, we want this changed." No, you can actually go to court and say, "Hey, I want this changed." You can sue the government if you feel like your rights are being violated by them, and sue them for damages. So this is the one where it's your rights to make your opinion known legally. We're not going to worry about the 5th and 14th, so don't worry about that in your notes. Just worry primarily about the First Amendment. Those are the ones that protect your freedoms, your rights, and things like that. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, I'm probably going to have to end up making a new channel just because some high schoolers still have too much free time on their hands and are rude. But I'll do the review questions with you guys. You just won't be able to answer because I had to turn off the chat. So if you're wondering why you can't talk, that's why. Because unfortunately there's some very immature high schoolers who are obsessed with my channel for whatever reason. They like to post on it. So anyways, what are 2 ways to become by which a person... I'll tell you what, why don't you try to answer these on your own. Maybe type them in a Word document or something like that, and you can check it. I'll give you guys, like, I don't know, let's say 30... I'll give yourself about 2 minutes, and then I'll come back and answer them with you. So you can answer them on your own, 2 minutes. You get a snack if you're doing that, and I'll go over it in 2 minutes. I'm doing a timer now. So go ahead, take 2 minutes. Try to do 1 through 5. All right. So two ways to become a citizen: naturalization and by birth. Number two. So we see the chart here, or no, I'm skipping ahead. Sorry. Which amendment to U.S. Constitution tells the methods of becoming a citizen? Hopefully, all of you said 14th. Again, all you have is a 50-50 shot, so it should have either been first or 14th. But for the answer, it's 14th. Number three. What should be written in the chart above to show the final step of the process of naturalization? So we're at the very end, the ceremony at the end, and it is called the Oath of Allegiance. Number four. What is required to pass the interview and test for naturalization? So that's when you have to be able to read, write, speak English. You have to know your American history, know government, and basically that you're getting, you pass the interview process where it shows that you're fitting in well in America. Number five, which amendment to the Constitution lists citizens' basic rights, such as religion, speech, press, assembly, petition. Hopefully you got the other one, which is first. All right, let's do a couple more practice questions. Go ahead and do 6 through 11. So go ahead and do 6 through 11. I'm going to go ahead and try and take off the chat. I'm going to let you do slow mode. So I'll watch it, and hopefully we don't have any jerks ruining it for everybody. So you can type your answers. Type them all in at once. I asked you guys to do 6 through 11. Number 5 was First Amendment. Well, let's see if Mackenzie got them all. Oh, she didn't get them all because she put I don't know for 9. All right, so Mackenzie got it. Number 6 is assembly. Number 7 was freedom of petition. It's right to you have the right to sue the government. You have the right basically to say legally, hey, you guys messed up. You violated my rights. So you basically it's your legal way of protesting. Um, and then let's see, number 8 was press. Um, Number 8 was press. Um, number so newspaper is going to be that. Number 9, how's the 14th Amendment to the Constitution extend and protect base? That one's not going to be on the test. That is due process. That is going to make sure everybody's treated equally. We'll get to that later on in the year. An alien just visiting. Remember, that's basically like if you go to school in another country, that doesn't mean you're a citizen of that other country. You are an alien while you're there. So anytime you go on vacation, technically, legally, you are an alien. An immigrant means you are now permanently moved. You are now making this new country your home. So that's the difference. Alien, you're just visiting. Again, legally, you're an alien. So if I go on vacation to Canada, I am then going to be an alien while I'm there. Immigrant would be I am now permanently living in Canada. I am now going to immigrate to Canada. So that's the difference. I think there's one more. So number 12 and 13. Yep, 12 and 13. Those are the only two left. So go ahead and do 12 and 13 as well. And then I'll try to answer any questions you might have, or we might just call it for the review. Yeah, I don't know. Well, Mackenzie, a subject could be used like what's the focus or topic, or a subject could be like in a study. But think of it this way: if I didn't go over it, it's probably not the answer. It's going to be on computers. Hey, Kylie. It'll be about 10 questions per test. I have like 27, 27. So about 108, about that. Well, Stacy, we haven't gotten to number 14, and we're not using power test this year, guys. It'll be a different program. So number 12, which is the term best matches definition in the graphic. So that answer would be citizen. And then number 13, America has become increasingly diverse society. What's the main cause? It would be immigration and naturalization. So good stuff. You guys, I think you're ready for the test. Did you have any other questions, or you guys feel ready now after listening to the review? And again, once I stop the video, it will save, and you can rewatch it. So if you need help with a particular, like you need me to go over First Amendment again, you can just rehear it. Hey, Naomi. You survived, yay. Hey, Maya. So did you guys have any other questions for me? We just reviewed, so we played review games. We'll see. I might try to go again. Which one's the First Amendment? First Amendment's the one with all the freedoms. Sierra forgot her locker combination again. That's not surprising. uh, so First Amendment's all our rights and stuff like that. Uh, we'll see. I have no clue about the football team or the marching band. I will try to go to one. I do live closer, so it's a little bit easier now. Alright, so you guys ready? About 20 questions total. 10 on citizenship. 10 on... Oh, you're at Colgan. Oh, well, still, that's not that... Actually, Colgan's closer to my house. It's not a broken TV. You're hearing a TV probably sort of in the other room. I don't even hear what you hear. Hold on. Actually, Colgan's closer to my house. Not a broken TV. You're hearing a TV probably sort of... Oh, that's just, I don't know. It's just like feedback, I guess. Hi, Izzy. If you guys are on task and ready to go, I try to do some review with you right before the test. Some of them will be multiple select, meaning you have to pick more than one answer. Some of them will be multiple choice. Most of them will be multiple choice. Every now and then we will put in an open-ended, like, or fill-in-the-blank type question, I should say. I have not made any bets, nor do they know what the bet system is. Stacy. So, I guess I'll tell you. So, every test, not every test, but a good amount of the tests, I'll pick a random student from like each class, and I'll make a bet with them. Like you have to get a 90, or you have to get an 80, or so on and so on. And you know what? Let me finish explaining this, and then I'll answer that one. So they have to get that grade, and then I hand it. Basically, if you get that grade, I'll hand you like I'll get you something from 7-Eleven, or I don't know. I'll get you some kind of small reward. So I do try to do random bets. I don't think this test is hard. You have every right to be annoyed with not getting your quiz grades back right now. I should have had them back to you already. That's just an oversight on me. I will try to get them back to you tomorrow in class. Not try, I will get them back to you tomorrow in class. So my apologies on not getting your quiz grades back. I have been kind of waiting for the grade book system to be like set up and no more issues before I start entering grades, because I definitely didn't want to do it twice. But that's still no excuse for not getting them back to you sooner. So I apologize for that. Abraham, no, they don't, and you're not going to tell them. You will know your grade after the test. Yes, it does show you the test grade. And hey, Joy. Any other questions? I see that, Odile. Oh, wow. Gosh. No, you cannot give clue, Abraham. No, I would never lose. In Connect 4, and my wife is fine. If I win the bet, can you get me my favorite coffee creamer? I have no clue. Spray on shoes was a horrible idea for the invention, by the way. Don't let Stacy lead you down a dark path. Anything else, guys? Otherwise, I'm gonna let you go. 7:30, so it's here for about half an hour. Oh, it was a horrible idea, but Stacy did a great job on the project. So she did all the required things, but so that's why she earned that A. But the idea itself was horrible. I mean, nobody would ever buy it ever. 30 minutes of study, BRBXing. Yeah, you guys studied for probably more like 20 minutes because there was a lot of side chatter too. But yeah. Dodger point was okay. Everything's good to go. So, okay. Why did they put a whole bunch in one instead of making them separate? They just put all. I mean, there's 27 amendments, which is also going to be a future test question. So they did not put everything in one, but they felt like all those rights were the most vital, and that's why it was all in the First Amendment. That's why we did that exercise where you had to eliminate one and explain why, because we all kind of find them to be things we need to do. For any assignment, I want you doing them in class. Homework you can do, but I don't grade homework. Why is it so hard? What's so hard? I feel like this is a setup for something bad. Yes, yes, I do. I'll tell y'all in class. I'm just not going to do it here, just in case there's still the trolls around. You didn't miss anything at the doctor's appointment. Abraham, I told you guys last year in class I'm having a kid. I told you guys this last year. I since May, very last day. You remember when we did that Kahoot with all the random questions about all you guys? Like it was based on all the students at the end of the year. It was the very last question. If you get in trouble or go to jail during naturalization, then there's a good chance you might not get approved for citizenship. So they don't have to approve you. So that's why you kind of need to be being on your best behavior. Well, that's your fault in your class. My class finished the Kahoot. It was the very last question on the Kahoot. You don't restart. They can just deny you. Alright, I tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna end the thing, but I'm still in the chat, so I'll restart it in a second. But this way, people who are watching, if they need to start over, it can be saved.